Home renovation risks. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this ABC article. The riskiest renovations and how homeowners can avoid the headaches. Now, let's look at this one. As an architect, I bet you it's going to be bad briefing. I bet you a carton that most of these issues will simply be bad briefing and incorrect communication between the client, or complete lack of documentation. What do you reckon? So, when Brisbane man Daniel Baker set about finding a contractor to paint the outside of his Queenslander, he thought it would be a relatively straightforward. Get quotes, choose one, and hey presto. He painted the house and said, "You got a 10-year warranty on any defects. Contact me if anything happens." 3 months after the completion of the job, which took 6 months and $23,000. Whoa. Later, the paint started peeling off from the weatherboards. I called him and tried to get him back, Mr. Baker said. So, it took 6 months. How big is his house? So, the contractor finally returned, but Mr. Baker said the weatherboards were not sanded, and the peeling paint was patched up with a different color. It looks awful. Let's put it that way, he said. Well, this is the thing. You've got to document what you want, everyone. In desperation, I guess I contacted the QBCC and made a formal complaint about the painter and the lack of action. See, this is the thing. You can search for complaints at the QBCC. I'm in the process of getting quotes for work. I'll be contacting, just checking them and getting some referrals. I mean, okay, there you go. I am struggling to strip my paint work off my Queenslander. It's a horrible job stripping it down and repainting it. So, despite the QBCC recognizing that there were multiple defects with the work, the regulator could not take any action because Mr. Baker had made the complaint outside the 7-month reporting period required. He found out too late that the contractor, and therefore Mr. Baker, did not have insurance under the Queensland Home Warranty Scheme. Dissatisfied with limitations of the 7-month reporting period, Mr. Baker is now making a complaint to the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal, but he is not hopeful. Well, I've won a QCAT case against someone who owes me $15,000. That doesn't mean anything. You still got to get someone to go and chase up the money. You know, this is the thing. Mr. Baker wants his experience to act as a cautionary tale for others about to embark on renovations, but he is certainly not alone. I mean, this is the thing. You need to document what you want. All communication needs to be in writing, everyone. It needs to be in writing. There needs to be a paper trail. You need to go to the QBCC website. Let's have a look here. Here in Queensland, you'd have alternative in other states, and you can search for contractors, do license searches here and check, licenses, search the registry. And you can search people here and you can check to see if any complaints have been made against them. You can see how much revenue the builders have been making. You can get all that information here. So at the very least you can get some information if it actually adds any value. I mean, you can see in this circumstance, having all this government regulation and red tape theatre didn't really improve the outcome for this guy at all, did it? So, 5 most problematic renovations. Painting tops the list for causing the most headaches to homeowners, with the QBCC receiving 1,641 complaints in the current financial year. If you're engaging a painter to come and do a job on your house and it's worth more than $3,300, that person does need to be licensed, and you should check that they are licensed, QBCC Assistant Commissioner Kate Raymond said. Consider getting someone who is licensed to do the job, no matter how big or small, because they've got the qualifications. Well, does it really make any difference? Come in. At second place is joinery with 720 complaints. Well, yeah. Doors, windows, installations including hinges, trims, things like that, Miss Raymond said. The issues can be that it's sticking, or it's not aligned, or it's not closing properly, or it could be something a bit more serious like waterproofing. I mean, we have, whenever it rains, my back door won't close. Every year I need to adjust the hinge because, I mean, that's just part of being in a Queenslander. And I've seen the previous owner has done it too, moves the hinge up and down to get the door working. Hopefully, now that we're redoing the foundations, that problem will disappear. Hopefully it'll disappear. But, you know. Next up, taking out bronze is work on walls and ceilings with 451 complaints. They're closely followed by tiling with 417. Roof cladding came in the 5th most complained, with about renovations with 327. I mean, you know, this is just a shit job. This is a terrible painter. They should repair the door, you know? And this is where, honestly, you need to make a complaint in a public forum. That's where the Google stuff is. You know, give the evidence, show that. So red flags and traps for young players. Ms. Raymond said there were a number of things people should do before they engage in building work. Visit the QBCC website, which includes specific information and guides for homeowners, and should be the first point of call, she said. Once you've engaged a contractor, keep the communication clear and get everything in writing. Yes, every single thing in writing. You should be asking for a written contract that sets out the details of the work, the scope, in as much detail as possible, preferably, Ms. Raymond says. Ms. Raymond said a contractor asking for a deposit of more than 10% should be a red flag for work between $3,300 and $20,000. When a contract is $20,000 or more, the maximum deposit is 5%, she said. But if 50% of the work is done off-site, a contractor can ask for a 20% deposit. Any more is a red flag. Ms. Raymond said customers should ensure their contractor was licensed and covered by the Queensland Home Warranty Scheme for residential construction work above the $3,300 threshold. See, I had a mate who had a builder that went under, and he ended up just paying for another builder to come and finish the work, and then the QBCC said, oh, well, you don't need this insurance, you've already got the money, and just dogged him. So he wasn't too happy with the whole situation. The contractor pays that on behalf of the owner to the QBCC, and cover is provided by the QBCC, she said. Customers should ask their contractor if they are paying for the cover and whether it is included in the quote. But keep in mind the scheme doesn't apply to all works. So you're thinking of making a complaint. If you're unhappy with work, communicate that in writing to the contractor. When it comes to making a complaint to the QBCC, it is important to know the period of time that you have to lodge it. The time frame begins from when you first notice the defect, though that can differ depending on whether it's structural or not. If you've got a non-structural defect, for example, you need to let us know within 6 months of becoming aware of the defect. You also need to bring a claim within 7 months from the completion of the work. For structural defects, you must notify the QBCC within 3 months of noticing the issue. We don't have discretion on the timeframes that exist within legislation, Ms. Raymond said. If you're unsure, contact the QBCC for advice. We will walk you through the steps, Ms. Raymond said. The contractor painted over Mr. Baker's house number. Then you take it off and you clean it yourself. But then again, if I was an architect and a builder did that for me in a job I was administering, I wouldn't be happy. I would hold, well, under this process, I would hold money away from them and engage another painter to come in and then chase them for the cost difference. That's what you do in an administered contract. But those hardly happen anymore. No one wants to pay for it. And you can't blame people because everything's so expensive. But not being happy with a job may not always mean regulators can take action on your behalf. Exactly. That's why getting communication up front is so critical, Ms. Raymond said. She encourages homeowners to communicate with tradespeople as much as possible. Ripping up tiling is a huge job, she said. So if it's a case that it's actually acceptable and it's within the realm of what an ordinary person might have done, it's just not what you wanted. There may be nothing that we can do as a regulator because it's not really a defect, she said. Exactly, it's bad briefing in some regards. A lot of people will have bad briefing. If it was in the contract between you and the tiler that you were going to have it a particular way, and then you could take some action against the tiler potentially if you can't get an outcome with the tiler. Advice may vary from state to state, and of course names have been changed. I mean, this is the thing. It comes down to documenting what you're doing, even a small job, having it in writing, getting some drawings done up, guys. Getting drawings to brief what you want to do. And if you want the paint done, I mean, it looks like they may have encapsulated a paint below that was chipping. Did the guy here briefing, did they include it all to be stripped and then painted? Or did the painter just say, no, we'll just paint over it? Was that clearly articulated? Did the painter give you the two options? Did you pick the cheap one? So you've got to understand the options of what's going on here, everyone. And I would honestly think a lot of the time it's bad briefing. Maybe you should be buying the paint and supplying it to the painter so you know exactly what you're getting. You can do the research. You can ring up the paint reps. They'll talk to you. They'll guide you through all the different options. Anyone can do it, guys. And then you know exactly what you've specified, exactly what you've got, and you say, I'll supply it to you. So there we have it, everyone. Some warnings about home renovations. I would, some good advice there. Get everything in writing. Do it all in writing. Be thorough. Be meticulous. Don't be afraid not to. Contact the QBCC. Get whatever information you can. Or do it yourself. And you'll be happy with the defects because you've done it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I will see you next time. Bye for now.